We're going to jump a little bit ahead in the timeline for this next part. Actually, more than a little bit. Dog days of summer would have been before high school started. I started high school in 2007. The part we're going to talk about in this video would have been during the pandemic, so 2020. And I'm just going to set the scene. So the pandemic 2020 was actually the second time that my business completely crashed. The first time was during the wildfires in Santa Barbara when the freeway closed because the mudslides, all the mud collected in the freeway and it was shut down for 3 weeks. Horrible time of my life. Like I've already mentioned, a previous client of mine, their entire house was taken away by the mudslides. They were literally identifying people from bone fragments. About 22 people died. Horrible, horrible time. So, anyway, that was the first time that my business completely crashed. The second time was during the pandemic. And given that first time, I was like, yo, if I survive that, I can survive this. Literally, that was my thought process. So things worked out without giving, again, all these unnecessary details. I had always wanted to work at a pet store. Pandemic was the perfect time. And I got the chance to work at San Francisco's oldest pet store, San Francisco legacy business called The Animal Company. The Animal Company is in Noe Valley. Again, oldest pet store in San Francisco. And the Animal Company specializes in exotic birds. So in the last few years, about the last 10 years in particular, exotic birds have been incredibly hard to find. The price for them has skyrocketed, and the demand and price has increased, but the supply has decreased. So quick little economics lesson, you know what that means. Anyway, people from literally around the country, state, damn near the world, you can probably say, come to the Animal Company to purchase their exotic birds because the owners have such a good reputation for customer service. They are insanely knowledgeable. One of the biggest things that gets people through the door is that they offer very inexpensive bird grooming. People line up around the corner to come and get their birds groomed. That's an incredibly expensive but also very difficult service to find. So, one more thing I'm going to say before I get to the story is that birds are incredibly intuitive. So this whole idea of like bird brains and birds being not that smart is very foolish, but also a lot of what we know about birds has really been discovered in the last 10 to 15 years. A lot of our knowledge and a lot of the things that people had been teaching about exotic birds was very wrong. So anyway, dogs are great listeners, right? They're just absorbed like little sponges. They just, that's what they just take everything, all the crap that we throw at them, for lack of a better term. Cats, as we know, they don't play that. Cats are better senders. They like to talk, chatty catty, right? And they're more psychic, right? They're more spiritual. Birds are somewhere in between is the best way I know it. So the best way actually I've heard it described with birds is that they are very, very careful and very, very specific with when they do decide to talk. It's not necessarily, they won't just open up to anybody, but when they do, you better shut up and listen because it's important what they have to say. That's how I would describe the three. So anyway, I did a little bit of bird communication while I was at the Animal Company. But if you want me to be honest, working in a pet store, there's just always something to do. So I was just insanely busy, cleaning, running the store. I'm tall, and I'm skinny, but if a cage needed to be put together or grabbed from the shelf or, taken out to a customer's car, if a big feed bag, that was me. So, and I was happy to do it. That's what I was there for. Anyway, one day I'm behind the counter and somebody walks into the store. This lady walks in, dog trailing behind her, and I instantly get this deja vu. And I'm not going to say what this lady was there for, because again, this is somebody that is a, very involved in San Francisco. All I remember was that she came in for a very specific purpose, and we chatted, and again, this insane sense of deja vu. I was like, something here, I can't quite put the pieces together, but like we've interacted before. I don't remember if it was after she left or if it was that night, but I want to say it was within the same day that I came to realize that this was the exact same person who Miss Andrea and I had talked to at the park. I don't think it was the same dog. As a matter of fact, I think that probably would have been impossible, because the dog that I saw was much younger than that dog, but it was the exact same kind of dog. And again, watching their interaction, I just again got this deja vu. Won't say anything else because it's going to give it away. But I remember once I was positive, like once I realized where I had seen this person, I remember messaging her and I was like, hey, do you remember dog days at the park, XYZ? And I told her exactly what I said in the video. I said, we talked to you. I said, XYZ, this is what happened. I literally even said we were wearing sunglasses. And this person tried to play it really cool. She was like, yeah, she's like, I've been around a while. That may have been me. And I just remember thinking, like, totally trying to act like super unimpressed, but I could tell she was impressed. I could tell she was trying to play it cool, but she knew. And I remember the last thing that she said was like, it's always good to know people who have that gift. I remember saying that. That was the last thing that she said. And then again, we continued about, and I messaged her on social media. That's all I'm gonna say. But that was that. That was the part 2, if you will, to Dog Days of Summer. We're gonna jump forward in the timeline one more time in the next video, and you'll see where I'm going with this.